All right, everybody. So obviously I'm gone, but you do have a work day today. So I just wanted to give you a couple quick things so that you would know what you were supposed to be doing today. So you have your outline on page 132 and 133. You had no homework today because you had your performance assessment on Friday. You will be receiving this rubric. It is up front. It is on a white piece of paper, and it's just to give you a rough idea of what I will be looking for on Wednesday when I'm grading your projects. As you look at our calendar, you can see that your projects are due on Wednesday. Your test is on Friday, paper pencil. The review sheet is already on Canvas, so you can just use that as reference for yourself when you're getting ready for that. So today is just going to be a work day. If you're done with your poster, just leave it on one of the lab tables. All of them, like just fold it down together so that no one will mess with them. And then tomorrow we will pick up where we left off. Also have a work day. I'll be here for you to answer any questions that you may need before we bring them in on Wednesday. So the rubric that you're getting handed out, please use one piece of tape. I'll give you a minute to do that. You can pause me or whatever you need to do. And then I'm going to go through it just really quickly. So there's a couple areas where you will be able to go to exceeds on this project that's due on Wednesday, but a lot of areas you won't. For your poster, it's pretty much just proficient. I'm not going exemplary whether you add more stickers or not enough stickers. But as long as I can clearly see all the information that's on your poster, then you will do just fine. As for your problem, just being able to communicate what your problem is on your poster will be fine. The part where you have the effects your problem has on the ecosystem, maybe you focus more on the biotic cycles, like if you're doing air pollution or you're doing water pollution or land pollution, that's where you're going to spend a lot of your time. You can go on to exceeds there on how well you actually go in depth in your problem and affecting those cycles. As for the interactions piece, that might be a lot for kids that have invasive species, endangered species, or just kind of talking about a specific animal or plant. Then you might be focusing on predator-prey relationships or symbiotic relationships or those kinds of parts of the ecosystem, food webs, food chains. And you can be talking about both if yours applies to both, but understand that if I know that if you're talking about an invasive species, I don't need you to tell me that more of them takes out more CO2 out of the air. I don't need you to get that nitty-gritty to talk about the carbon cycle just because you added 10 more plants to the ecosystem. So that is one spot where you can exceed expectations, just how well you can connect and really understand your problem and how it is involved in that ecosystem. The next one is your solution. So just listing what your solution is to your specific problem. You'll be fine with getting your proficient. But if for the explanation piece on how your solution affects the ecosystem, again, you have a spot here to go exemplary, going above and beyond, really understanding how your solution will have that domino effect and how it will influence other parts of the ecosystem. Maybe that's the cycles, or again, it's the food chain, food webs, etc. The last spot that you can get exemplary on is this connections piece with Shakopee. There are some of you that are already actively calling locations or doing things that are above and beyond just presenting stuff the day of the project, just handing out pieces of paper. Like if you're doing something at home, you're calling people, you're communicating, you're being more out there beyond just that Wednesday, then that puts you in the realm of being able to get exemplary on that spot. We wanted to make sure those of you that are putting in that extra mile would get that there. For a lot of you, it might just be that you're communicating on the day of the project, which is just fine. That's why we have that proficiency spot there, that if you're passing out something on the presentation day or, just writing a letter that's getting mailed, which is wonderful, that might be where you're at versus pushing it one step further and really communicating it to a lot of different people, and especially in our community. And then the last one is just your sources. And to be more specific, that your sources are evident in your project, that I can tell that it's well researched. It's not just something that you've made up. You have looked well into your project, and when I'm reading your problem, I'm reading your solution, I can tell that that's not just something you created and all by yourself. There was some research involved where you saw solutions online. You have connections that weren't just things that were in your notebook. It was beyond that. So that's what the rubric is, to kind of help you stay focused throughout the day and your poster. But as for what your poster, again, I've shown you this, but just to remind you what it should look like. You have on Canvas the implement piece, and it gives you that layout of what your poster might look like, trifold or at least self-sustaining, and what should be on it. So, and you don't have to follow this exact map layout, but it gives you a rough idea of what I'm looking for. You can type up and print everything. If you have beautiful handwriting, you can handwrite the information on there. Just know that you should have some form of photos, and whether that's drawn or not, but there should be some images as well on your poster. It just makes it more visually appealing when you're communicating to individuals. So what you have the rest of today to do is to just work on your posters. I have some glue over on the counter. I have scissors and bins and crayons and markers. Just remember to return the materials when you're done. As you can spend your time researching and typing. We have passes that can allow you to go to the Learning Commons to print things as well. Just use your time wisely. I'll note on Tuesday whether or not you used your time wisely. And good luck, everybody.